Hey, it's Friday morning. You found the G spot. Hey, fall weather is here. The leaves are changing. It's great. I guess you could call it out in the country. If I turn one way from my house, it looks like country. If I turn the other way, I can see all the people that are overworked over at Orchlands. Hey, Tuesday night. Yes, I'll continue my little mini-series on the juvenile legal system, juvie legal system, here in a few minutes. But first, Tuesday night, I attended the Free Doobie show out at the Mobley Area Community College. You know, the Show Me Cannabis thing, legalizing it, decriminalizing it, revisiting marijuana laws themselves, the whole bit. Great little experience. Got to see State Representative Chris Kelly, who I've dealt with over the years, and then my dear colleague Dan Vietz, who has been at the forefront of this battle for ever how long, tens if not 20 years. I always joke with Dan about how in the world everybody knows he's the marijuana lawyer, how he doesn't get pulled over every single day as he heads to various courthouses. Remember, if you're a regular reader of the Moberly Monitor Index, and by the way, people have asked me this, and I wanted to say it out here, and you can tell the people, I wrote a weekly column for 2 years. I've taken a break. I've taken a little leave. Just wanted to get away from writing for a while. Looked at my calendar. Beginning next week, I have a trial every week until the week before Christmas. And I just thought it would be a good time to take a break, regroup. I talked to a lady at the paper the other day. Chances are I'll start writing again, probably after the first of the year, if people still want me to do it. But the Moberly Monitor Index ran an article, a prelude to this Tuesday night town hall meeting. And in it, Moberly's chief of police and Randolph County's sheriff spoke about how they were totally against legalization of marijuana and that it was a gateway drug and the typical law enforcement party line. All right, listen, if you're going to be quoted in the paper, if you're going to be taking a position of opposition, and if you're going to be speaking for a large group, law enforcement, Moberly PD or Randolph County Sheriff, maybe you should show up for the town hall meeting. Maybe you should show up and defend your position. Maybe you should have the balls to stand before the citizens and say, yes, this is our position and here's why. But no, it was as good a job as they did, and I didn't get to stay for the whole thing, but as good a job as they did while I was there, it was preaching to the choir. It was preaching to people who already had taken a position that somehow, some way, we need to reevaluate our draconian marijuana laws. Now, my position is this. I'm all for the legalization of marijuana. I think it's the silliest damn thing that we waste millions, if not billions of dollars across this country enforcing marijuana laws. I think it's ridiculous, the actions that the law in various states and in our state require the courts to take when you get caught with, and again, we're talking about personal use of marijuana, all right? Just rolling a joint, watching the Cards play, and ordering pizza or pizzas from Pizza Hut. We can have a whole nother debate about selling to kids. No. They want to, the position of the outfit that was there Tuesday night was you have to be over 21. All right. Here's how I feel about that. Let me segue. At 18 years old, you have all the rights and privileges of the United States Constitution. Well, you should have them long before then. Maybe somebody should remind the school districts that. But you could go to war and fight for your country and possibly die for your country. We train 18-year-old men and women, young men and young women, how to use a gun to kill and how to protect themselves. And we send them out in harm's way to fight wars that our politicians, most of them are too chicken to get involved with themselves. But yet we say, you same 18-year-olds, you can't have a beer? You can't have a beer? You can't have a shot of whiskey when you come back with a bullet wound in your body, protecting our civil liberties? At 18, you can contract. At 18, you can go to prison. And yet, we treat 18-year-olds differently, 18, 19, and 20-year-olds differently. So that's a topic for another day. The position is 21 years old. You should have the right to possess and use marijuana. I will tell you this. I've never had anybody sit across from me in my 20 years as a criminal defense attorney and say this to me. Well, check it out, Mr. Gillis. A lot of my clients call me Mr. Gillis. Check it out, Mr. Gillis. Me and my group, we were hanging around the crib, and we hit a blunt, and we decided to go pop a cap in somebody's ass, or we decided to go home and beat up our women or smack our kids around. No, no, no. We smoked a blunt. We smoked a joint. We hit the bong. By the way, I had a great bong when I was a kid. Shelley, it was the Starship Enterprise. And where the bridge was where you put your pot in. And then underneath there was a little battery-operated motor. And then where the engines, you hooked hoses up, and you could sit on the couch and hit that motor, and it would shoot smoke to two different people. It's a great bong. Great bong. Nope, we hit the bong, and then we wanted to know, what did you have in the refrigerator? What's playing on TV, or what games you have? And if you don't have enough in the refrigerator, who delivers? Every argument that can be made for the continued illegalization of marijuana can be made for alcohol. Alcohol is a much more destructive drug. Every single day, I either get a phone call or I have a consult where alcohol has impacted negatively people's lives. DWIs, domestic assault, etc. And we found a way to legalize alcohol, or basically re-legalize it after our insane little prohibition period, to monitor it, to tax it, and yes, taxes is going to be part of it, to keep it, make laws that keep it out of the hands of juveniles, to have adults pay the appropriate price if you're operating a motor vehicle in an intoxicated condition, if you give alcohol to a minor, if you allow minors to consume alcohol in your presence. We have laws for that, and it works. It works. Now, yeah, I have a little issues with some of the enforcement and some of the ways those are done. But every argument that can be made against marijuana is the same argument that was made and can be made against alcohol. Gateway drug. Gateway drug. People are going to do drugs. I know people who did blow, and they're in my office, and but they didn't smoke pot. Known people that shot up heroin, represented people who shot up heroin. I don't think I've ever seen anybody shoot up. It would freak me out, the idea of sticking a needle in my body. But they didn't smoke pot. I'll tell you another thing I've never had. I've never had a young lady tell me this. Well, Mr. Leonard, here's what happened. I smoked a couple joints, and I lost myself, and I was taken advantage of by a man or men. But boy, I know many a woman out there who made the ultimate poor judgment because of alcohol. What I have found in my years of practice is that the price that young people, mostly young people, pay for simple possession is haunting. You, especially now with 24-hour access to CaseNet and such, and there is no privacy anymore. An employer, you're 1 of 10 applying for a job, 9 of them do not have a marijuana simple possession on the record. You do. Guess where your resume goes? They're not going to stop and go, oh, what, were you 18 and you're smoking a joint and got caught? No. Well, you're a drug addict. Get the hell out of here. But here's what you're going to run into as this movement goes forward. There are a lot of people who make money off the current marijuana laws. Rehab centers, private probation people, the law enforcement themselves make money off of it. And whenever money is involved, the argument becomes suspect. I would encourage anybody and everybody to get on their website. Shouldn't be hard to find. Donate a little time, donate a little money. And again, I'm not advocating the use of marijuana. Life, I think, is life. If you go through your whole life and never take a drug, never take a drink, you've led a wonderfully wonderfully blessed life. But it is something that needs to be considered because we're spending billions of dollars. We're scarring many, many young people with a drug charge. We're putting people into court and in jail over a drug that more and more people, more and more educated people out there are saying it's time. It is time. All right, juvie legal system, when I left you last week, we're doing adjudication. Adjudication. I wish they would use the word trial. I wish they would use the word trial because then it gives it the gravitas, the importance that it is. Because it is a trial. Either you or your child is on trial for something. Now, there are differences. There's the allegation that your child committed a crime as opposed to maybe what I like to refer to as a more civil allegation of neglect or your child didn't go to school, that kind of stuff. But do not be fooled. It is a trial with all the elements of a trial. You have the right to subpoena and confront witnesses. You have the right, of course, when you confront a witness, to cross-examine those witnesses. You have the right to secure depositions. You have the right to secure expert testimony. All the things that a criminal defense attorney can do for you in a criminal case can be done in a juvie adjudication, or what I'm going to call a juvie trial. But here's the rub. Here's the rub. All those things cost money. A private attorney, a good one, will cost you money. Taking a depo costs you money. And a lot of the people in the juvie legal system are people of limited means. So then what happens is you tend to get appointed attorneys. Now remember, we talked about this. You have the right to have an attorney appointed for you. And I will tell you, many of the attorneys that are appointed to juvenile cases are fine lawyers. Fine lawyers. A little bit of an issue with the conflict of interest in that. What if the judge is the one that does the appointment? And if you do a lot of appointments, you make a lot of money. And, you know, where are you in the system? And again, I'm not in any way being derogatory towards my fellow attorneys. But understand, you will be called before a judge. You'll be held to the proof of evidence. A civil type of case, clear and convincing. A criminal case, your kid's charged with taking a baseball bat to some cars. More judges than not believe that should be beyond a reasonable doubt. I have my suspicions. I don't know whether you get the same beyond a reasonable doubt that you get in a criminal case, a regular adult criminal case. So remember, you're going to be adjudicated. It's going to be tried. Your lawyer needs to be prepared. You need to be sure the witnesses you need are there. You have the right to a subpoena. You can cross-examine. Very important, the cross-examine part. You have the right to take depositions. You have a right to expert testimony. But if you have a private attorney, you will have to pay for those things. At the end, if the judge finds that the juvenile office did not make their case, you will walk out. And your involvement with your private attorney and with the juvenile office is done for now. But if the judge finds, based on the evidence and their standard of proof, because in the end, it's up to the judge. The judge decides whether it was clear and convincing. The judge will decide whether it's beyond a reasonable doubt. Then the petition will be sustained. Then it all starts, the inquisition. You will then have to be involved in services, and so will your child. And then you're going to have to attend multiple court appearances. And then last but not least, you're going to have to attend the family support team meetings, or as they refer to them in Illinois, as the family inquisitions. And that's where we're going to start. Because if you've been successful, you're done. But now we're in the system. Hey, Shelly's slapping me around. I'm out of time. We'll talk more about next week about the family support team meetings and all that. This is Gillis Leonard. Have a safe weekend. Bye-bye.